Hi, I'm Fran Tarkington, and welcome to another Breakfast with Fran. I'm an entrepreneur just like you. I know I played football for 18 years, but all the years I played, I was building businesses and learning and trying and struggling and making every mistake in the world. And the reason I was able to get better and have some degree of success is I had great coaches and great mentors, and I was curious, and I talked to a lot of people and had access to a lot of people. What we do with these breakfasts is every month is to bring you new ways to think and bring other entrepreneurs out who are doing interesting things to talk to you. And maybe with that, we'll give you a new way to think and a new way to go about your business that will be beneficial to you, your customers, your partners, and so forth. Recently, we sat down with Greg Abel from Tailfin Marketing to talk about his thoughts on running a successful small business. He had a lot of great things to say, and I'm glad we can share them with you this morning.
My name is Greg Abel. I'm the Director of Strategy and Client Service and one of the co-founders here at Tailfin Marketing. We've been in business for about 13 years now. We do brand development and marketing, kind of everything from, what's your company name, what's your logo, what's your brand position, all the way up to TV commercials that you'll see on air here locally and across the nation. For people that are just starting out on their own, that are trying to come up with a way to take that great idea and turn it into a great company. There's a lot of different angles. For us, it always sort of comes back to being able to articulate what it is you are and how that's different than something that's already there. I think everyone's kind of done I have a great idea, and then you go do some research and somebody's already done it. Doesn't mean you're dead in the water, but you better be able to articulate how what you're doing is different. When I was in sort of the .com world, we saw lots of ideas on napkins that had huge checks behind them, where investors wanted to get in. It was still the same problem, is how do we make this, and so one of the biggest questions that we say is, how is this different than what's already out there? And it doesn't have to be wildly different. It could be, well, it's like that, but it's targeted more to this group. And it's like that, but it's more luxurious, or it's like that and it's more economical. But being able to have a defensible, real brand position that you can hang your hat on so that I think one of the things that we see as the biggest problem, especially with startups, because they are so full of energy, is they lose focus. And they start to want to be all things to all people. Or they start to want to be the leader in a space where there's already a leader, and they haven't embraced the idea that they might need to be an alternative. So for us, I think that the big thing is being able to tap into that focus, find out what's different for them, and then be able to articulate it. So whether that's in sales materials or in a web presence or in things that are even more novel, like whether it's advertising or a promotional effort, but what are the things that are going to make people remember that brand and remember what makes them different from other brands that are in their space? Because inevitably, if you're a new idea, unless you're truly 100% original, there's going to be somebody that's going to crowd you a little bit. You're in that competitive landscape, there's going to be somebody that abuts what you're trying to do. So being able to find that focus, stick to it, commit to it, and articulate it clearly, that's what we do to help. But it's one of those things that we can almost spot when somebody's coming in the door, whether they're going to be successful or not, if they believe that their product is different and they can articulate how. The worst is when somebody comes in and says, we've got this great new idea, and we say, that seems exactly like that idea. And they're like, no, it's all totally different, but they cannot communicate how it is different. That's one that we usually kind of bag and tag that one and say, it's probably not going to make it all the way there. But it's finding that focus and differentiation, which we've tried to do here. We say that we have small shop agility, but we have big agency smarts. So you don't pay for $1 million lobby in this building, but you get that same level of expertise and that level of service that you would get with a major agency. So we've tried to carve that out as best we can in this space, and so far, knock wood, but over a decade going, doing okay.
A lot of great things from Greg, and he talked about differentiation. And, it's hard to differentiate from product to product to product. There are a lot of carpenters. We're doing the same thing. Landscapers doing the same thing. How do we differentiate from our competitors? And the way we do it is the value proposition, pricing. Are we a good value or not a good value? Are we giving them, keeping our margins as slim as we can so that we can give them a better value? Customer service. Are we making their customer experience great? Are we humble? Do we have empathy? Are we likable? All of those things make us different. You and I do business with the people if they have like-minded products. We do business with the people that give us the best value, but really that we can depend on, that solve problems for us. They're there if we need to get something fixed, and they take it back and fix it and don't ask a lot of questions. They don't argue with me. They help me. They're there to enable me to have a better customer experience. That's what we need to be doing as we deal with our customers and our business partners. Differentiate yourself by being the right kind of people who have empathy and concern for your customers and your partners.
My partner Lola and I had both worked at a couple of the larger agencies here in town and in New York as well, ad agencies. And both of us, it's funny, Lola left in '99, right as I was getting ready to leave too. She went and sort of started what became Tailfin out of her basement. I went and joined the .bomb for one of the major .com consultancies. And it was really eye-opening because it was the first time that we had both been outside of advertising per se. In the .com world, you could do anything. You had people that had a lot of different skill sets. So when I left that, after that, in 2001, basically completely crapped out, I ended up kind of folding back in with Lola and working on a couple of key clients that had been, and it's been a pretty good model for success for us, building clients based on relationships that we've had. It was one of our former coworkers who was at Coca-Cola at the time, and it kept growing and growing to the point where, it went from 2 people and a dog running around a basement to a handful, and then a larger handful, and then a team of 7 or 8. And over the years, that's how it's grown. It's really been clients that we've either made and then they jump and go somewhere else, or it's people who find out about us through sort of working in one of the in a big company, and then you end up spilling over into another silo. And Coca-Cola is a great example. We worked with the McDonald's group for years. Somebody in the next cubicle or the next department would hear how we had really helped them out, and next thing you know, we're working with the Fountain Group or with brand innovation. So it's been one of those sort of models for us.
Greg also talks about finding clients through relationships. Life should be all about relationships, shouldn't it? Business should be all about relationships. Doing the right thing, being the right friend, being dependable, and helping other people. The mission of business is to help other people. And you do that by developing great relationships and telling people the truth the best as you know it. If you do that and you spread yourself out and you meet more people and you have that type of attitude and that type of likability, they're going to reach out to you to help you get more customers. And that's called networking in the right way by building relationships.
I don't know that it was something that was necessarily conscious. I think it's just the way that we've always worked. And that's when we take on a client, and I know it's cliche, but a lot of people hate the V word. We don't like to be the vendor. And we don't act like that. And typically, we don't have clients that treat us like that. We are much more of a partner. And again, I know it's a little tired and cliche, but the truth is that we've found that the best successes come when we're really invested in it. When we learn, I always say it's nice when you learn the acronyms. When you're deep into their business and you're not just performing a task, when you can really help them think ahead and become that partner that can hustle for them when they need it, but will also, they'll cut you a break. Because you do work so hard. So I think that really has been the core of what we do is how do we truly partner and get to know what are the things and the issues that they're dealing with every day. It's one of those things, I've worked in agencies where people spend almost as much time working out the contract as they did working out what the communication strategy was. We don't do that. I mean, we kind of work however they would need to work financially, but we really get to the heart of what they're trying to do and how they can be different, because at the end of the day, that's the only real measure of success for us is if we can differentiate and really shine a light on what makes their brand special. And a lot of that comes from being a close partner over a long time. So a lot of the clients we've had 3, 4, 5, 6 years, which is not always typical in this business. Sooner or later, the head of marketing leaves and the new person has somebody. But we've been able to weather those storms pretty well. Even when we've lost real champions on the client side, we've been able to build enough trust and enough of a track record that the new guy will at least give us a try. And more often than not, we're able to succeed, even when you kind of have that transition.
The next point he made was be a partner to your client. And we can say it a lot of different ways, but that's so true. So many people, they get a client, they sell them something, and they go on to the next one, and they're not really care whether what they sold them was the right thing to sell them or was going to solve a problem for them or not. They just run. Treat your clients like a partner, like your family member, someone that you truly care about. And if you truly care about them, you're going to make sure that you're going to tell them the truth the best you know it. But people sometimes say, well, it's all about making money. Money comes from the great relationships you build, treating the customer as a partner. If you treat them that way, you differentiate yourself, and they'll want to come back and buy more things from you, and they will refer you to more people. Good point. Treat your customer like a partner. Thanks for joining us again for another Breakfast with Fran. Be sure that you talk to each other, befriend each other, be kind to each other, have humility in your life, and enjoy every day that you live, and be grateful that you're in this great country and you can be an entrepreneur, and the sky's the limit to what can happen for you. Come join us again next month.